Hey everybody, I hope your day is going well, and I hope you forgive me. This video is a little bit out of character for this channel, but I want to do a video like this. I like it when other people do videos like these where they just post themselves talking like without a camera and a game in the background that they're not necessarily playing. And I want to do this just mainly for a few reasons. One, so I don't have to worry about how I'm looking, because I didn't really feel up to playing a game today, and so I would have to do like a full face cam video. But I figured this might be easier, might be a little bit more visually appealing for you, and a little bit more visually interesting, and it allows me to not be so self-conscious about how I'm looking for the camera, the glare on my glasses, or what's going on behind me or around me or stuff like that. So, yeah, that's why we're going with this. But this is just kind of like an update talking video, very chill. Wanted to just kind of talk about some things, So, I guess first and foremost, like I may have already said this, I don't know, kind of scattered right now, but hope everyone's day is going great. Hope your week's off to a great start. My week certainly is. I actually managed to get in and talk with a therapist a little bit, which was really nice. I mainly just told her about stuff that I think I've told y'all about like death anxiety and concern about religious stuff in my worldview, and how we can get into depressive episodes, and we also talked a little bit about my anxiety at my job, which was nice. We didn't make a whole lot of progress because it was the first session, so she had to get like a baseline, and I had to catch her up on all the stuff, like all the prequel stuff for all the stuff that's going on in my life. So I didn't expect like a lot of progress, but it was still just nice talking to someone. And she was very personable, and I really enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to seeing her again. But yeah, so I made that decision last week to get involved with a therapist, mainly because, so you may remember if you've been watching my videos, a week before last Friday, so September 16th, I was saying there was like this like big stressor at work, and what I don't really want to go into too many details, but basically one of my coworkers kind of lost his mind at like a field day event. I don't want to make any speculations about his mental state or any mental illness he may have, but it was like, in my unprofessional opinion, I would say like a mental illness related thing, just that was that out of character and that shocking. This was not a belligerent person or a very loud, obnoxious person at all, but kind of suddenly on September 16th he like had a big problem. He was yelling things and hitting people, and it was just at a very public event in front of a lot of people, and it was just very crazy. So that was something that afterwards it affected me, but I was like, why am I so stressed out about this? And I think one was because it was so out of character for him, but also because it was like he was living my worst nightmare of doing things that are bad, and I'm sure like they're bad. I won't say what headspace he was in, but that you're doing bad things and you just can't stop. It's like being a kid knowing, I should, I don't know how many of y'all share this, but like being a kid and having this idea like, I should probably, listen to what my parents are saying, but there's just something about you that you're like, I'm just not, I'm going to keep pushing my luck. And maybe that's just me. I don't know, but I had a few episodes like that, like when I was a kid. So it, in a lot of ways, that combined with, people's trust in you and your career kind of taking a massive hit. In a lot of ways, it brought me back to exactly how I was feeling a couple months ago when, I got that termination notice that I told you all about. It was a very scary time. And then so quickly after that, see a coworker succumb to a serious mental condition in such a public way, and such like a non-hideable way, you know? I mean, if it was just between me and the team and we were like off playing our own game, we could have calmed it down and, you know, taken, you know, had a little bit more discretion with how we handled things, but it was so public, you know, it's not a choice. And I mean, that person did wind up leaving in handcuffs. I don't know what happened to him since then. But yeah, man, that took me off guard. And it was just, you know, a thing that didn't really have anything, like I didn't do anything bad, but it still felt like I was in trouble or something bad's going to happen, you know, to me or to something like that. Not to make it about me, of course, but just a feeling of impending doom, even though, as a cause of this anxiety, even though I didn't have anything to do with, you know, this person behaving that way, you know what I mean? I wasn't doing anything bad, but I still felt that anxiety. So anyway, this last week, I actually did. It's one of those things, you know, you meaning to do for a long time. Oh, I'm going to making a therapist appointment. Yeah, I'm going to make a doctor's appointment too. But, you know, you forget about it and then you just don't think about it for a week. And that's how it just keeps dragging on and on. But I actually sought out one of my employer's, like employee resources. And they actually got me set up with a therapist, which was really cool. And I went and talked to her today, which was awesome. And it kind of surprised me. I mean, at one point she said, okay, so what are we focusing on? Which is an important question, right? She wasn't mean about it or anything, but she said, what are we focusing on? And I had to think about it, and I said, oh, well, you know, there's been so much going on. I haven't really thought about compartmentalizing it like that. You know, what are the different building block elements of how I'm feeling? But it made me realize, like, part of me just wanted to say, I don't know what the thing I'm focusing on is. I just like talking. You know, I just like talking to someone about it who knows what maybe I can describe feelings or problems that I have, and you're a professional, so you can, you know, offer better advice than one of my friends maybe. My friends offer good advice, but they're not trained therapists or anything like that. So I was like, I don't want to say that because then it kind of sounds like I'm just using these sessions just to ramble on about shit, which I mean, I guess would be okay, but I didn't want it to be like that. And I do have other things that I do want to work on. Like, I think when we came out to, you know, to nail it down on a topic was depressive episodes. And, you know, I think I've talked about this before, my issue, and I can't really believe a religion only because there's no proof. And that leads to, I can go into that in a different video, but it just leads to some death anxiety sometimes and a question of whether life means anything at all. If after we die, we just go back to the same nothingness that we were before we were born. You know, it's a hard question. And it's one that, you know, it's one of those things. There's just no proof. There's no proof at all. Because people who have died are dead. They're not saying anything anytime soon. And the only exception is people who have near-death experiences, which I do pay attention to, and I like reading those recounts. But of course, there is the rebuttal of, oh, well, it could have just been an oxygen-starved brain making up some fantastical stuff, and they weren't actually 100% fully dead. So, you know, it's hard to decipher all that stuff. But I talked to her about that, which was really cool. And what she kind of wanted me to focus on between this session and our next session here in a few weeks was like, well, yeah, but what is your worldview? And I sort of repeated the same thing. I was like, well, you know, I can't, you know, there's all these competing theories. And she was kind of like, well, no, what do you feel? Like, regardless of what everyone else is telling you to feel or what there's proof to feel, what do you feel? Which is interesting because I hadn't necessarily thought of it like that before, but in a way, like it's not that I haven't tried that before, but I go into this, again, yes, there is this, but also that mentality where I kind of get stuck. And sometimes I've thought, well, maybe what it really comes down to is how I perceive things. And then that other voice in my head comes in and goes, well, yeah, but what if that's the wrong answer? What if you're supposed to, what if there is a grand cosmic, system or whatever, and you're supposed to do certain things. And so, I know speaking out loud, it's one of those things that's hard to explain. But if you're someone that has a feeling kind of like I've had, or like I'm having, then I think you get it. It's just one of those things that it's hard to put into words, but if you felt it, then you know what it is. Another thing that we talked about before the session was over was she said, she was like, I want you to examine, how you feel about what your worldview is and all that stuff. But of course, we want to stop short of spiraling. We don't want to go, off the deep end. And so she said, what are 3 things that would pull you out of a spiral? And I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is cool. I'm actually getting tools to pull myself out of these depressive episodes, which is cool. Like, that's what I wanted. And so I forget what I said. It was hanging out with friends, basically, not like necessarily in person, but, playing Apex with Jonah and Taylor, or hanging out with Hannah. But just the way schedules are working out right now, temporarily, that's not so much of an option during the week. It's just how things are, and that's fine. And one of them was meditating, for sure. I know I've talked to y'all about that. And going on a walk, which that one's a little iffy, only because it's still really warm here. It is cooling off in Georgia, but it is still, by all intents and purposes, like, for me at least, not comfy. So, but, especially in the mornings, going on a walk, fantastic. Oh, excuse me, I'm drinking this tea here. It's very good. Anyway, but yeah, going on walks and meditating. I don't know if I've said this. I've been meaning to make one of these talking videos for a while, just kind of explaining this stuff, but I know that if you aren't accustomed to meditating, it might seem like, especially when I'm telling you, go to the channel that I really like is Great Meditation. Is that it? I better check that before I say that and it's the wrong channel and I send y'all somewhere else. Yeah, it's a channel called Great Meditation, and they post, like almost, like, it seems like they post every day of the week, like Monday through Friday, which is really cool. And I could totally understand how you say, well, I'm feeling bad, and Cozy, and Cozy's telling me to go do like a 5 or 10 minute meditation. I don't see how that's really going to help. And fair, I totally get that feeling. And to some people, that may not be the trick, and that's fine. But I would highly encourage you to try it. And when I say try it, I mean really try it. Not go into it with an open mind, not thinking, oh, this isn't going to work, but try to, be in a decent headspace, or just at least, even if you're not in a good headspace, say, I'm going to give this a serious try. And then when they're guiding you through the meditation, even if they say something that seems silly, go with it and just give it a shot. Almost, in fact, up to this point, I might say, every time I've done one of their meditations, this isn't sponsored or anything, I'm just telling you guys because I really like it and it works for me. Every time I've done one of their meditations, it's been a positive experience. Like, I come out of it feeling better about the day, about the week, about how things are going. And it's something that is free. Of course, there's ads, but to this point, I don't think I've had an ad in the middle of a meditation, which is really nice, because that would, of course, disrupt the flow of things. But yeah, they're free. They're very active. They post, like I said, probably Monday through Friday, new meditations every time. So it's it's really nice, and it's, like I said, a great free way to see if meditation is a thing that can help you. If it can, great. If it can't, then at least you've tried it. And trying it is, trying different things. That's how we figure out what works for us and what doesn't, right? Because if I never try meditation, then I won't know if it works for me or not. If I never try, doing X, Y, and Z to clear my head, I don't know if it works for me or not. So that's very important to just give things a try. They might not work, but they could also really work for you. And that's important. Well, I think that'll about do it for this time. It's like I said, I just wanted to do a quick talking video, something nice, easy, chill. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you like this format of video, let me know, because I really enjoy it. Obviously, at the fundamental level, it's still the same. It's just a person talking to you. But, compared to me at least, there's a big difference between seeing someone talk to you like face to face with their webcam, and then there's people who just put them talking over something that is visually stimulating in the background, which I also really enjoy. So if you have a preference, let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate all of y'all's opinions, what you like, what you don't like. I think that stuff's really cool. So, one way or another, tell me what you think. And tell me how your week went if you feel up to it, It's nice to just get some things off your chest. Even if, maybe it's a little hard. It's nice to just post things. And of course, you don't have to post them here. But I would say that if it's available to you, friends or family, people you can talk to in person or, over the phone, one way or the other, just in general, and it doesn't have to be about anything bad. You don't have to save talking about it for a bad day. It's just as good to talk about a good day. You know what I'm saying? That stuff's important too. Okay? It doesn't have to be bad for you to talk about it. So, but if you have all that stuff, fantastic. If you don't, Cozy's here for you, baby. Post some stuff in the comments below. Let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling, what you think about the content, all that good stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. And as always, eat big, drink big, and sleep big. Is that gonna be the new outro? I don't know. I might have to work on that one. We'll just go with Old Reliable for now. Make sure you eat lots of food and drink lots of water. Stay happy, stay healthy, okay? And do something good for yourself because you deserve it. Have a fantastic rest of the week, everybody. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you here on Friday. Bye-bye, everyone.